Hi guys, so it's the 13th of March today and I'm getting itchy feet. Really want to start getting some seeds planted. I've said before I do suffer with a lot of frost, cold weather down here, a lot of winds. My seedlings tend to get a bit battered. I was intent on not starting till the beginning of April, but you know, it's like I said, it's 13th of March and I just kind of want to get something started really. So I just thought I'm just sort of having a bit of a go in the polytunnel today, trying to figure something out, trying to get things ready so that I can actually get some seeds started here. So what I've done with my polytunnel last year, because it's just a cheap polytunnel, couple of £100, 6 meters by 3, and it comes with a fixed door and little windows down the side. But obviously, if I'm not here and the sun comes out, it can get really hot in there. I don't live on site, so what I did, it's just a little help really, is I ordered a window opener like you have in a greenhouse, and I fixed it to the door so that when it gets hot, that actually opens the door that far, about 18 inches, something like that. So I can actually open it and just about squeeze in there myself like that. But what I did is I put this little bracket up here, if I can just show you, so I can actually slide it out like that and open the door fully. So I just made up that little bracket just like that, so it slides in and out of there. Now I can come in the polytunnel and I can just reattach it, just slide that back into there like that. So that door starts to open at about 20 degrees, and at about 25 degrees it's fully open, about 18 inches. Like I say, on a hot day it can get a bit too warm in here. This is why I struggle a bit sometimes. I tend to start seedlings at home. In the garage I've got a couple of little grow lights that I bought. The only trouble is now my garage is so full of bits and bobs, tools and what have you, like most of our garages I suppose. There's not a lot of room. So what I've done is I bought, it's so to try and heat this whole space, considering that, as you can see, the door isn't particularly well fitted. There's a big air gap here. Even when it's shut, there's gaps around it. Like I said, it's only a cheap tunnel. So what I've done is I bought my little, this is what I use in my garage. My garage is a bit cool, and in the garage I use a heat mat at the bottom to heat it. But I'm just gonna have a little play around today with putting a paraffin heater in the bottom like that. Obviously I won't be able to put a pot directly above it, but what I've done is I've taken, so on top of these paraffin heaters, as you probably know, you get these T things to just distribute the heat. So I've just taken this top piece off of that one, and I'm just going to put that just above there. I mean, this bit of wire will get a bit heated and rusty, but that will just help then to just disperse the heat a little bit. So I won't be able to put a tray there or there, but I'll get 3 trays. So I'll get 1, 2, 1 down the bottom there, 3, 6, 9. So I can get 9 trays in there. It gives me a chance to get something started. I am a bit worried, a bit concerned that it will get too hot in here if the sun comes out on a really hot day, because it is already, I've got my temperature gauge here. I mean, it's a little bit sunny today, but it's already 20.2. So if we get a really warm day, it does get very warm in here. But yeah, so this is just a little idea, something I'm going to try, just to get a few things started. I want to get some early brassicas started. I may start my broad beans in pots this year because I lost a lot of them to mice and all my peas. So I'm just having a little play really today, just having a bit of a sort out. I did have this racking system. I'll just show you. I've got this heavy duty racking system I had off my sister. I did have that set up right down the middle here. It was so tall, it was just touching these sidebars. And then we had that storm Eustace a few weeks ago. It just battered it, and the top corner of the racking slipped off the post. I had some rubber on there to hold it on, and it's torn a 4-foot hole right in the top here. So I use this polytunnel repair tape, which isn't sticking. It's holding a little bit, but it just keeps coming off. So I've got a big cut there and another one down the bottom end down there. So the polytunnel's getting a bit battered. So maybe one day I'll have to think about actually getting a decent tunnel. Bit of an investment, but maybe it'd be something to do. So yeah, what else? So in here, I haven't got much at the moment. I've got a few tree seedlings. As I've said before in my firewood video, I grow my own trees from seed. So these are some little silver birch. There's some small-leaved lime, I think these are. And I've got some London planes there. And then these are just some hawthorn seeds which are stratifying over winter. Whether they'll come up or not, I don't know. A couple of clematis, can't remember what type it is now. A couple of clematis cuttings there. And then over here, just a few bits and bobs. Got some cordyline from my back garden at home. I'm turning it into a bit of a jungle garden with bananas and tree ferns, things like that. Got some monkey puzzle trees, which I grew from seed. Ordered 10 seeds, 5 of them took. And I've got my little kiwis here. So these are kiwi jennies, they're only tiny. Obviously, they're going to take a little while to get going and to produce any fruit. So these are self-fertile. All of these are supposed to be self-fertile, but supposedly even the self-fertile kiwis, if you have 2, you get a better crop. So I've got 2 jennies and I've got 2 acai. I think that's how you pronounce it. English never was my strong point. 2 of those, they're all going to go up into the veg area. I think I showed it on another video. And then here I've got a couple of things which I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this year. I ordered them late last year. So these are perennial kale. So I've got one here called Taunton Dean. This one with a slight purple tinge to it. And this one has got a bit of a purple tinge now, probably because of the cold, but it was a much more bright green. This one's called Dorpington. So these are perennial kales, and they should produce quite well for sort of 3 or 4 years. And then they're quite easy to strike cutting. So a bit of side growth like this here, something like that. You could take a cutting from that. And so I'm going to put these into a bed up on the veg garden somewhere, and get some perennial kale going. This sort of thing, the what you'd perhaps call like a forest farm, stuff that is perennial, stuff that just grows and you can just pick and harvest all the time. I quite like that sort of thing. Going forwards, I want to get a few more things like that down here. It's why I like my fruit garden. Raspberries, blackcurrants, blackberries. I've got Tayberries, Loganberries that I've all put in just a few months ago, and obviously they're gonna produce every year with a little bit of maintenance, and that's the sort of thing I want to do. I don't mind sowing the seeds. Obviously, I'm not going to go completely perennial, but I do want to get a certain percentage of my holding done as like a perennial type of veg and fruit. Just because it's completely sustainable. You haven't got to think about seeds. You haven't got to worry too much. It just protects, obviously, net the kale, protect it from birds, and it's something you can just take cuttings from every year, and you should have forever. The good thing with it also is it grows through the winter. So when I got this last year, they were quite small. This was about that tall, no side branching, and this didn't really have anything on it, this Dorpington. So through winter, I've been picking a few leaves off as they've grown and died. But it has, once it's a big shrub, they'll get to sort of 2 meters tall, apparently. You can take small harvests of that all through the winter. Similar, you can with normal kale as well. I keep my kale in the ground through the winter. But yeah, so it's good thing to have some sort of perennial sort of stuff that you can keep cropping and just leave in the ground. You haven't got to worry about it too much. But yeah, so I'm really thinking of getting some seeds in this next week. So I will do a video. I'm gonna have to go through my tin. I've got a big tin of seeds, some old, some new. Whenever I see something that interests me, I'll just buy it, pack of seeds, couple of quid, you know. I always end up with more than I need. So I have to kind of decide what's going to go in and what's not. I've only got limited space, I've got 20 beds. Need to think about crop rotation as well, what's going to go in after something finishes. If I get some early brassicas in and they finish, I need to think about what's going to go in after that. This is something that I'm not particularly great at. I'm not very good at planning ahead. I tend to just wing it. But I think I'm going to have to start keeping like a gardening diary or something. I think that's a very good idea, so that you can really keep on top of what is going where and when, and plan ahead for how long a crop is going to take and what's going to succeed that crop in that bed. But yeah, so I'll do another video within the next few days, I think, of getting my first few seeds in, and I just hope I can keep the temperature for the seeds good enough. I think the little paraffin heater in that small space will definitely keep the cold off. What I've got to worry about in here is hot days, really, because I'm not here all the time. I do still work, only a couple of full days at the moment, and then odd jobs. But there is a couple of days a week when I'm not here, and I'm a little worried that they might overheat then. But perhaps I'll just have to come down in the morning and open the door or something. But yeah, challenges, all challenges, but it's good fun trying to get around it. So we'll see you shortly, guys.